Hey there, Seb the Realtor here. In this video, I'm going to take a deep dive on what an election year means for the Bay Area real estate market. If you are concerned that an election year is going to wreak havoc on your home's value, then you definitely want to watch this video. Well, here we are once again. It's a presidential election year, and of course, this year has been chock full of surprises. Joe Biden is out, Kamala Harris is in, and the whole dynamic has undergone quite a radical change lately. Fun fact, Kamala Harris and we went to the very same elementary school in Berkeley, California. Yeah, she went there like 5 or 6 years before I got there, so we would not have been on campus at the same time. But fun fact, yeah, Kamala is my homegirl. So anyway, but that is really neither here nor there. What I really want to talk about is what happens to the real estate market during an election year. I think there's a sense out there that a lot of people say, you know what, an election year or election quarter or whatever is a bad time to sell a home. And, you know, I think there is something to that because people, when they buy a home, it is really a very long-term commitment, right? We're talking 10, 20, 30 years, many cases longer than that. It's a long-term commitment, and to make a commitment like that, you need to have a lot of confidence in what is going on with, you know, basically everything, right? Like your job, right? The economy, the nation as a whole, our democracy, right? There's a lot of things that you really want to feel sure about when you are making a long-term commitment like that, just in case maybe on the other hand you want to pack your bags and move to Venezuela, which I hear Caracas is actually a very, very safe town, safer than most towns in America, and dirt cheap too. But listen, I don't know what your thoughts are, your political leanings are, but I wanted to take a dive into the actual numbers of what happens during an election year to our real estate market. So I have a few charts that I want to go over, which will help you understand the dynamics of what happens to the real estate market in an election year. This first chart here, it shows you the difference in sales in October and November in an election year versus sales in October and November in a non-election year. So we normally see in October and November that home sales are down by about 10%-ish versus the rest of the year. And in an election year, we can see that home sales are down by about 15% on average during those months in an election year. So yes, actually, there is quite a bit of a pullback normally in October and November, especially during an election year. And this is nationwide. This is not really just the Bay Area. But the interesting thing about that chart is you need to understand that these are not sales or purchases that are canceled. They are sales or purchases that are delayed, right? So I think a lot of people might put off selling their home or buying a home during those 2 months during an election year just because of the uncertainty. But after the election happens, things get a lot more certain to some extent because we already know, like, the big question's already been answered, right? So look at this next chart here. This next chart here shows the number of sales in the year of an election and the year after an election. And what do we see here? We see that in almost every year after an election, there are more homes sold in the year after an election than during the year of the election. So what does that tell us? That tells us that 2025 actually should be a pretty good time to sell a home here in the Bay Area if past results are any indication to go by. Now, the number of sales is one thing, but what you are concerned about, of course, is how much money are you going to get for your home when you go to sell it, right? Well, look at this chart here. It will show you that in almost every year after an election, home prices rise versus the year before. So that would be a very interesting thing to know if you are considering selling your home now versus in 2025. Of course, one key factor in real estate pricing is the affordability of those prices. And the big dominant factor in affordability is, of course, mortgage interest rates. So would it interest you to know that in 8 of the last 11 election years, mortgage interest rates have decreased? Yeah, look at this chart right here. It shows you that in 8 out of the 11 last election years, mortgage rates have gone down. And very coincidentally, mortgage rates today are a lot lower than they were for all of this year and most of last year as well. The rates today are about 6 1/8%, which is about as low as they've been since April 2023. So definitely we have seen mortgage rates drop, and there is a lot of chatter that the Federal Reserve is going to lower their interest rate as well, which may also have a salutary effect on the overall mortgage rates that people are paying today. So what we're setting ourselves up for, I think, we're setting ourselves up for possibly a pretty darn good year in 2025, which is still quite a few months away. And the big question is, what about the fall real estate market during all of the madness that we are about to enjoy in this election season? What will be happening to real estate prices between now and the end of the year, September, October, November, and December? Well, it's really anyone's guess what exactly is going to happen. We do have an increase in inventory overall, but inventory is still relatively low. It is still definitely a seller's market, but it is tipping into a buyer's market. But the effect of this substantial drop on mortgage interest rates, that has yet to be seen because it just happened a couple of days ago. So we will see if in fact that does work to bring a lot of buyers into the market here at the end of the third quarter and the beginning of the fourth quarter in 2024. Well, whatever happens, it's going to be very, very exciting to be sure, right? We've had so much excitement since like 2020. It's like, I can't handle it. It's just been so exciting lately. But whatever happens, I do expect that the sun will rise in the morning and we will continue to lead our lives, and that overall the Bay Area will continue to be a wonderful place to hold a real estate investment for the very long term. All right, well, that is all I have for this video. I hope you did find it interesting and worthwhile. And if you did, I'm guessing, just totally a guess, that you might also enjoy some of these videos over here. These are some of the most popular videos here on my YouTube channel, so please do take a look. All right, that's all I have for this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and please stay tuned.